I like the design of this better compared to the new monkey, but it's subjective. But I'm just saying my opinion because I own this channel and I make the video anyway. So flip off. I'm sorry. Uh, what? All right, so we are back. Welcome everyone. Grab yourself a cup of coffee as usual because in today's video we're gonna talk a lot about this. I'm gonna break it down one by one, what I did, my inspiration and stuff like that about this bike. So we're gonna start off first by taking apart the wheel first. Now, I mean the tires of this bike you can pretty much do custom whatever you want it. But I would personally mod this bike to the point where it's kind of look more like a trail bike because it's originally made a trail bike. So, the tread's kind of like big and chunky, and that's why I want to do it. And as you can see, it looks like that. The next part is where I just make it like this right here. So, if you want to make it really cute, you just have to make the circle and then make the whole overall tread by yourself. It can be made customly, like this one, for example, and then you join and combine them together, and it looks nice like this one right here. No complicated stuff, no texturing, no PBR, and it's very different from treads if you want to make it on a car. But for this case, you just basically make the base of the wheel rubber have enough like faces, I would say, and then from there you can start making it your own. Like for example, if it's me, I like to do it like this, and then separate each one of the face like this, and then from there you can start to customize the way you like it, like so, and give it some crease so it looks kind of like boxy, but it really is. You can play a lot in this. Just let your creativity do the job. But for me, I would like to keep it this size to make it more chubby and nice, and believable. And then for after that, you can just use array, and then you can also make this. Apply the scale rotation first, and you can use empty as for the main anchor, whatever you want to call it. Apparently pronunciation is always really quite challenging. And then you just kind of do quick math, how many you can fit in there to the object right here, put it on the, and then so when you want to rotate it, you can get more of it. But let's say 30, 360 divided by 30 equals 12. Very quick math. So you want to do 12, but seems like that's too much already. So you're gonna decrease it. 24. 360 divided by 24 equals 16, so you're gonna do 16 on this, and still too much, so maybe 20. 360 divided by 20 equals 18. Damn, my eyes, bro, it's kind of, there you go, something like that. So that's how you can do it really easily. But this is just like a very simple basic low topology of rims or tires. Tires. In the stylus way, you can make more detail if you want. Like you can add some on the middle layer, and then you can add your own procedural texture. But for me, I drink milk. I like milk. Has a protein, and it's good for your muscle. But anyway, this is how it looks like, and you just gotta add more in the middle, and you can customize it the way you like it. But feel free to do your own things on your tires. But I'm just showing you how I do it manually. And as for this bike though, it's kind of hard because you can't really find some of the engine picture quite good on the online. So I sneak up to bring a trailer website on an auction website, and I just found all of this detailed image of the engine. Now the engine itself is very small because it's 50cc, but what I would like to highlight is this part right here. So in order to make it like shorter, cheapy in my version, you won't like be able to fit this right here, the cylinder or like the crankshaft. So my idea is to rotate it a little bit and kind of like remodel the engine to the way I want it to be to fit my style, right? So this is the very first thing that I would do. Do the gas tank first, so I have enough view on how I want to turn it later on. and then usually cut it like this, and also this on the seat too right here. So as usual, always start everything by really easy topology, so you can work around later on. By the time it goes, make it complex and stuff. Also, Jeff, if you're watching this video, hi, thank you so much for the support. Guys, Jeff has been always supporting the channel through the Patreon, so if you haven't joined the Patreon, you can do so too. Thank you so much, I really appreciate it, and Jeff has been giving me quite a lot of motivation to keep making video too, and he has given me a really beautiful words about my style, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much, Jeff. I hope you have a wonderful day and bless on your work. But again, if you guys haven't joined the Patreon, feel free to join. There's a lot of perks in there. I'm not asking you, but you can feel free to join. That would help a lot, and I would appreciate it a lot, and that means a lot because that motivates me to keep making video on YouTube. So this is the very basic topology. Make it really simple, make it really clean. You know, I don't really like dealing with messy topology because later on, if you want to print it, if your topology is like a you know what I'm saying, like a then you wouldn't be having a good time later on. So this is just like the part where I like to do the tank first, right? Like this, and then the seat, and then the dashboard, the fender for the front and the back side. So if you know, one of the trick that I really like while making fender, especially for a bike, you know, you don't really need to do it like complicated though. Like you can just do it like this by. See, like this is what makes different between the amateur, noob, and the pro. Basically, like pro 3D modeler, just you know how to do things faster. You can do it like just making, like for example, by using plane and then manually shape it, the fender. But like if you know, it's very easy though. Like for example, you just extrude this part right here. Make it smaller to a clipping so it's not gonna move from the middle, like so. Give it some anchor in there, and then you just basically cut the part not necessary, for example. Also, I really miss playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. If you guys play it, shout out. I love that game, it's beautiful. What am I saying? But anyway, do you guys play games? I do play games, but I'm not really playing that games anymore. The only games I play is FIFA with my nephew, and then usually Zelda, but I sold it. I need to get that game back because that game's really awesome. Anyway, this is how it looks like, see? Very simple, very straightforward, and you need to make the pivot on the 3D cursor right here. So if you want to make it like that, you can just do that easily, adjust it very nicely accordingly. But enough of yapping, that's how I did it. Very simple, very straightforward. Also, next to the number 6, what the? That's already like far away, man. What are you doing? So I think, whenever I work on a bike, one of the main challenging things is always gonna be on the engine, because like everything else for me is just really easy and straightforward. But the engine though, you gotta find enough image reference to be able to like make it realistic as possible. Nonetheless, it's gonna look like shh, and I don't want that. See, it's kind of hard because like you don't really have enough image references for the engine though. But to put it simple, this is how it looks like, and then make it good. Now, the part I talked about earlier, right here. Hello. This. I kind of like, because there's no way I can fit it right here, right? So I want to make it like it goes right here. So what I did was doing this. Let's moving on to the number 6, I think. Grab your coffee. There you go. See, I kind of rotate it. Like usually it should go right around here, right there. But let me cook. Shut up. Let me cook. It looks like this, right? It's kind of like on a kind of top again. It's completely not realistic, but hey, again, it's a stylized my version, so I have the freedom to do whatever I want in here while remaining or keeping the original aesthetic there, right? You get the point. And art, you don't need to explain art. See, this is how it looks like. It's very good. I also have the bevel in here. I'm sorry, not bevel, but boolean. So it cut through in there, like so. for this part to go inside there. Now this is miniature, so you don't obviously need to make it as like 100% accurate as the original engine, but this is how I approach it and make it works like the original 1:1 scale. So this is how it looks like. Some of the model doesn't have headlamp, but I prefer to have headlamp because like it's kind of weird to see motorbike without headlamp. It's like seeing your your wiener without the helmet on top, so it's kind of weird. So I prefer to keep it like a headlamp. So yeah. And then number 7, everything is done. Just making the handle part. The handle part is kind of tall because the bag is really like small, like so. And this is where it gets interesting because you're finally able to work on the detail. This is for the rear brake. It has caliper, but it's kind of like covered by this to make it more subtle on the original design of the monkey. And that's the point, to make it aesthetically possible, as nice as possible, and retro, So this is how it turns out. Looks really good. Looks really nice. Headlamp too, Even the whole side of the chair, the seat looks really nice. And this one should be welded in here. Now, one thing that I still miss is that this one, this part between the frame should be welded nicely, but in this model, in the previous model up until this model, I haven't done that. But somehow, some way, I work on another bike currently. I haven't uploaded yet, but I'm working on the welding part, so it looks more detailed and realistic. So, for example, this one right here, there should be like a weld in here, like a nice weld part right there, right? It makes sense, but I haven't done it. In the future, I've done that. I'm gonna explain later on how to do that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, drop a like. I'll can help the video and channel a lot. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is for the key and stuff like that. And finally, we are moving on to the final part where we are ready to render, Slide the lighting for you. And then this is all of the livery, I would say. The livery was made in a Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, you just use PhotoFlee. It's free on desktop version. But basically, I made it there, and then you can just wrap it in here and use UV projection nicely, and then adjust it everything later on in here. And that's it. That's pretty much it. That's the whole model itself. I would say like this model was easy to model, but it's just the challenging part, the hardest part is just, figuring out the engine though, like especially the exhaust. All of the trail bike of Hondas like CT110, CT125, and then Z50A, Monkey and stuff like that, they have a really distinguished manifold exhaust design, which makes it quite aesthetically pleasing to see like this, but it's hard to model. It's kind of like you gotta fit it here, and even back then I failed to fit it like quite around here, and as you can see right there, it barely fit, but somehow I managed to fit it. Originally I was kind of planned to make the exhaust bigger to make it chubier and cuter, but it failed because I don't have any more space in there. But as you can see, it fits nicely in there, and it has grip and kind of like a bracket in there too. So very, very nice. Overall, I love this model. I love this work. I put a lot of time and effort doing this, and I'm proud. Thank you. MashaAllah, Alhamdulillah. But this is it. Let me know in the comment section down below what do you guys think. If you want to see more bikes or car breakdown, please let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to join the Patreon. Thank you so much for having me, and it's been a blast. I'll see you in the next one. Stay awesome, stay powered.